My name is Oshife Larry. I'm a mechanic. Welcome to Exxon F1, also known as from Lawon, Colum, Africa.
Good day! Please, like I've always clamored, please. I know you love what you're doing. Subscribe to my channel. Love it. I beg, be on my channel. You get the best news. I love you guys. Like, comment, share. Some of you come to my inbox, my DM to comment. Yeah, it's good, but sometimes also comment on this social media. It helps my growth. Like, share. Share, please. It's very important you share. I love you guys. Now, for this sprint weekend in Austria, let's buckle up and rumble. First, let me give you the gist, the news in the paddock. In our last video, I told you Daniel Ricciardo is back after a successful operation and a successful sitting out. He's back on one of his worst tracks. He's going to be racing this weekend, and he has been asked about the seat in Red Bull, in which he had no comment. But like I said, it should be a very tough decision for Red Bull next year because Sergio Perez is not guaranteed, and I think Sergio Perez, a lot of suggestions have been coming that he should retire, he should leave, he should this, he should that. But for me, I reserve my comments after this whole season. Talk about that topic. But first, F1 is a big sport, it's an elite sport. But does that mean that F1 should start charging drivers 1 million euros for offenses? Wait, what kind of offense would the driver commit that F1 will charge them 1 million euros? Wait, are they killing you? I don't understand. F1 should just look at what they are doing. Why would they be charging drivers 1 million euros? For what? And also, George Russell has made his comment on ex-drivers commenting about the way they felt in Qatar. That drivers are lazy, they should know that there is heat and they should be able to cope with it. And I love his reply. I love the way he answered. He said, these guys are commenting, they are talking. But then, the cars they were racing are 20 seconds slower than the present cars, the present F1 cars. The G-force is higher. So stop criticizing. If you think we're not doing enough, get into the car and drive. Another news on board is the livery that the Red Bull team have brought to Austin. That livery is off the hook. I know Red Bull team, for me, I believe they are trying to push their brand in US. So every US race, you see Red Bull teams trying to overdo. And I don't blame them. It's just because they are trying to make sure they push their brand. Red Bull drink is not a big brand US, and most Red Bull sports are not really up in US. But now, in the last 12 years that they've been pushing US, I think they've really done a good job. And recently, they are really pushing with 3 races in US. They are really doing everything to push their brand in US. During the break, during some off times, they go to US, take some drive. So it's been a really push for Red Bull, which is a good thing. And I think they are moving in the right direction, and it's great for the Red Bull team. Also, this is the breaking news. It's about 3-4 days ago. Athletes investing in Alpine team. I need to say something about this. The kind of soap Alpine baited this season, I need to know that soap. That soap is more than grace because it is something else. They just got a $200 million investment like less than 5 months ago. Now, Anthony Joshua, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Juan Mata, Rory McIlroy, a lot of guys are just putting money in that team. Waiting happen. See, you guys need to tell us what is happening, as in who cut that soap on Alpine. No, they are really getting big investment, and with that huge investment comes huge responsibility. Alpine needs to turn up and make sure they are responding to this investment. They need to upgrade their dynamos, aerodynamics, and do a lot of things to make sure coming next year, especially 2025 to turn over 2026, they are doing a good job to make sure that team at least win races, not just 1 or 2 races. With this investment, if they are not winning races, there will be problem for them because big boys are bringing money, especially Ryan Reynolds. Him and his friends through their consortium has really invested a lot in that Aston team, and that is a huge cap to fill for Alpine, as in to deliver and to make sure they deliver. It's going to be I cannot. It's going to be very huge for them if they don't deliver, especially for Ryan Reynolds that has invested in football and they are delivering. So to Andres Stella, that is the McLaren team principal, he said he's trying to recreate a Schumi-style Ferrari era in McLaren. Now, what does that mean? He's trying to recreate something like a seniority in which the quality of the people involved in Ferrari in the early 2000s were extraordinary. So there will be continuity in that team, which will give those young boys and the team an opportunity at clinching world championship very soon. So they want to make it in a way that there will be continuity, and if anybody is coming in, that person will be able to fit in and to be able to deliver through their well understood goal. All of them needs to come together to know, okay, this is what we are trying to achieve and we achieve it together, so it will be easier for them. That would be a very, very great thing for them really achieve. And this is not really in news. McLaren has announced F1 Academy racer Bianca Bustamante to join their driver development program, and it's a win for her and also for the F1 Academy, which is great. And in my last video I talked about the F1 Academy, and this is a great news for them. FIA has also said Andretti will not be left out without F1 engine. Certainly, after their Alpine shenanigans, I think they can get under and they can still get any other one on the grid. Mercedes has engine, Ferrari get engine. There's not only Alpine, Red Bull self get engine. So they can get engine from any of those guys, which means FIA is really pushing for Andretti Cadillac to come in. And I think what they are looking at majorly is that Cadillac should be able to own its own power unit. Cadillac should be able to bring something to the table, not just mouth or money. They should be able to bring engine also to the table, not Andretti bringing the money, bringing everything, and they are bringing just electronics. No be electronics they want chop here. They should be bringing more to the table. Next year, F1 Academy to support 7 F1 Grand Prix races in 2024. That is great. As in, support means is like the race support for F2, F3 in F1. Hey, it's going to be massive. So the female drivers will be driving in like 7 races, which will be Saudi Arabia, Miami, Spain, Netherlands, Singapore, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi. They will be closing with the F1 in Abu Dhabi. So as F2 and F3 are racing with F1 in some races, F1 Academy too will be doing that. That is a big win for F1 Academy. Susie Wolf is trying. I can tell you she is really doing a good job. And Mercedes are saying they need to have a strong start in 2024 because rules are changing in 2025. So 2026 there are new cars, and it is important for them to have a strong start. If they don't have a strong start, they will feel like hey, their failure will not go get cousin. So they need to get a strong start, which is important. Like, they know themselves. So 2024, so that 2025 will be very easy for them, and they can achieve something 2024, because I'm not sure 2024 will be another Red Bull win year again, because with the rate at which McLaren is improving, I think it will be very tough, and I think Mercedes too are improving. But if they can get a better car and get a very strong start in 2024, 2025 will be very, very smooth and to be a very tight gridded race with Alpine, Alpha Tauri is going to be very important. But they are saying they need to have a very strong start in 2024 so that they can have a chance of competing not just 2024 and 2025, because those cars will be like cousins. They will be very close cars, just like same thing as 2020 and 2021 cars. They're just like close cars. And with drivers entering the Cowboy season, the Cowboy Arena, the Cowboy area in Texas, it is getting sweet with drivers coming in their own Cowboy car. Different things. They are looking swami, they are looking great. But let's see how the race will be. F1 coming up next. Now, please don't forget my own boy, Philip Janos Ghana. I'm calling on you, Nigerians, and I'm also calling on international companies in the UK, in Europe. Look into what he's doing. You can support him, like supported Ugochukwu. McLaren supported Ugochukwu, and I believe we have a lot of Nigerians out there. We have some few Nigerians in Formula 1, which I'll talk about. Let's talk about Ugochukwu also. But we have Philip here. He needs to get the best of racing, even with the opportunity that F1 Academy has brought now. I think we should avail him the opportunity to enjoy good racing, and I'm sure he won't disappoint us. So, still in the news, on Lewis Hamilton, from the video yesterday, as I said, F1 should just look at the way to resolve this thing. Lewis Hamilton has spoken out. He has said he does not really think he was singled out. Me, I think it's a lie, because they saw a lot of backlash on this issue. So I think they were just like, oh no, it was the way they expressed it, or not that they meant it. So they said it was not like he was singled out, but it was a poor communication from the F1 PR, and their agent got the job wrong. But I think their PR need to do a better job. But I think it's not that they are reprimanding him. From what they have said, I think and I believe it's the backlash that have made F1 to really soft pedal on it. I'm sure if there was no backlash, they might have said something. And I also want to talk on Hamilton's response to the race in Qatar. Though he admitted he didn't race in Qatar, a lot of former drivers have complained about Malaysian race, and they said Malaysian race is way hotter than this. Hamilton said it's hotter, but I think you cannot compare your body with every other driver. And what you eat at your age, you can't compare it with other drivers. Yeah, other drivers need to push themselves. It's an extreme sport which we love, so we should leave it as it is at extreme. But I think, yes, drivers need to push themselves, but I think FIA too needs to look at the health of the driver, the safety of the driver. I agree with Lewis to a point, but I don't agree with him to a point. They need to look at the way they make this driver race, and their life is more important. So if he had raced, I know he might not complain, because even Alonso, immediately after the race, Alonso was feeling pretty cool. All these old drivers are feeling pretty cool. The young drivers, they are the ones that are not having it, but the old drivers that race, all those old guys, they are really enjoying it. They didn't really feel anything. So I'm sure if Hamilton had raced, he won't, but we can't compare his body. So I'll say Hamilton, we can't compare your body with others. Even Fernando Alonso, that was feeling like, yeah, it's good. He felt it, like we can't compare his body with other drivers. So the FIA still needs to look at, and I'm sure drivers too needs to push themselves. They need to do a lot of training, so they need to be at their best. That is when they can enjoy racing. And also to Mohammed Ben Sulayem on Red Bull dominance. Nobody is saying you should punish the success of Red Bull. Red Bull have done a terrific job. They've been able to outpace everybody for 2 years. Why would you punish Red Bull and Max Verstappen for the job? No. Yes, said nobody should punish them. They've done a good job. Every other team on the track should do the same job. They should work hard. They don't have the same facility, so they should get their heart to job. They should work and get the best out of what they have. Some teams do not have, those small teams don't have the same facility those big teams have. But I think with the job Red Bull have done with their old aerodynamic CDF and whatever they said they have, is a good job. So teams like Mercedes that have state-of-art technology, McLaren that is coming with theirs, and Ferrari that have one of the best technologies, these guys should work hard. Yes, so the FP1 and the qualifying for the sprint weekend. Now, a very good Red Bull livery, beautiful ass livery, and also another corroborated US team, Williams, beautiful livery. Like I told you earlier, the Red Bull are trying to push their product in the US, which is working for them. So it's not just for the race, and the Aston brought upgrades that look alike of a Red Bull. It looks like a Red Bull, but not a Red Bull. And also, we hope that upgrade works. The Mercedes upgrade, Ferrari, Aston Martin upgrade. So we hope all these upgrades will work. And also, congratulations to George Russell and Lando Norris reaching 100 Grand Prix. They both got into F1 2019 in Australia. Them and Max Verstappen reaching about 180 races. That is good for him with 50 wins, and he could make that another breakthrough this year to break what he has set last year, the number of races he won last year, and he could break that again. But into FP1, what happened in FP1? The biggest thing in FP1 was Oscar Piastri saving his car. He was almost crashing out, but was able to save the car by the knee cover high. That was a great save, because if he had lost the car, that is the end for him. He might not be able to participate in the qualifying, and he'll be starting 20th on the grid. But he was able to save the car, which is great for him. The Aston Martin suffered a lot with their brakes, so they had to go back to the pit, especially for Lance Stroll. Alonso could not find time. The Ferrari, like always in the sprint races, they shine, especially Charles Leclerc. But would you expect to be in P1? You understand the usual suspect, the Red Bull, doing what they could to make sure they are still top. So with the FP1, with Max Verstappen leading, Charles Leclerc second, and Lewis Hamilton third in FP1, it shows that the Mercedes upgrade is working well. The flood they brought is working well, and it's also a learning curve for them against next year. The upgrade Ferrari brought is working well, and the Red Bull is not disappointing. The McLaren is also doing well, because the upgrade they brought, like I said, were like recycling, and it worked well for them because they were able to tweak a lot of things and they were faster. But the problem is, will they be able to compete with the Red Bull on this track once again? During the qualifying, we would know that, because during the FP1, a lot of teams will be on I4 runs, tire strategies, learning, so we won't really know what is really going on. Are they really fast or not? But certainly during the qualifying, that is where the main race is, and we would know how they would turn up. But certainly the As is not really doing well. The Aston Martin did not really do well, because we don't know if their upgrade is really working yet or not, but they still have a lot to learn about their upgrade. But another boosted team this weekend is the Alpine. They're looking cool. They look like they're going to do well during the qualifying. I tell you, when we get to the qualifying, we should be able to know how sweet they will be and if they can find their sweet spot. Daniel Ricciardo is coming back with a banger, but it's really looking skirmish somehow. But let's see how it performs in the qualifying. So up onto the qualifying, yeah, we go there. So here we are at the qualifying. This is where we see track limit, upsets, and we see downsets. So let's see what happens in the qualifying. The Q1, the Mercedes of Hamilton on used tires, but his teammate is not really finding the same time Hamilton is finding on his car. But the Red Bull keeps impressing. Sergio Perez keeps struggling. The Ferrari looks impressive. The McLaren looks impressive. But out in Q1, the Williams, Aston Martin, and Nico Hülkenberg setting one of the fastest laps during the Q1 was totally out in Q1. The Aston Martins struggled. I think the two drivers were complaining they should not have brought the upgrade to the sprint weekend, because they totally struggled. Alex Albon and Logan Sargent, oh, what a beautiful car. They're out in Q1. The upgrades on the Haas is not Haasing. But a surprise in Q1. Lewis Hamilton's Mercedes fastest in Q1. Wow. With Lando Norris, then Max Verstappen. Q1, the Mercedes is really looking tasty. In this Q1, they are looking tasty. They are looking cool. They are looking like they are here to race. What a qualifying for the Mercedes. They were struggling down below until Lewis Hamilton got a better time in his Q1, topping the time charts. In Q1, that was great from him. And in Q2, Charles Leclerc showed his dominance. Showed that always on sprint is on sprints. Charles Leclerc topping the time chart in Q2. Max Verstappen second. Lewis Hamilton again third. The Mercedes is really showing that yes, we are out here. Just 2 tenths behind. And Carlos Sainz showing his strength. Esteban Ocon fifth. Lando Norris sixth. Pierre Gasly seventh. Oscar Piastri, George Russell ninth. Still struggling with the Mercedes. 4 tenths off the pace of his teammates. Sergio Perez is still struggling. That's about 6 tenths off the pace of his teammates. Joe Guan Yu out. Yuki Tsunoda out. Valtteri Bottas 13. Kevin Magnussen 14. And Daniel Ricciardo 15. The 2 Alpha Tauri out. The As out. And the 2 Alfa Romeo. With Zhou Guanyu out qualifying his teammate in this one, he got the best of his teammate. And no surprises because the Ferrari always looked tasty during the sprint race. But they were just 10,000 ahead of Max Verstappen, which shows Max Verstappen might do well in Q3. But in Q3, a surprise. There might be a surprise in the race. In the last video, I told you I don't see the Red Bull winning this race. They've brought every upgrade. They are winning. Yeah, they look tasty. They look good. But other teams are working out. And I said in my last video that I don't see them really doing well. But the qualifying is showing they are struggling. All through the qualifying, Max Verstappen was looking behind. He was put on his toes and he was making mistakes. I tell you, his last lap was what a pole position, but track limits took him off it. He was not confident all through the qualifying. Like, it was something that I saw. He was jittering because the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton, Lando Norris, McLaren, and the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc were putting him on his toes. And I've always said if Max Verstappen is under pressure, he makes mistakes. This time it shows. His pole position time was deleted, so he had to go back to 6th. Wow. George Russell set a good time in his first run. It was deleted. Track limits. But what a drive. Charles Leclerc always drive himself to the edge. Even when he's making mistakes, he doesn't care if he makes mistakes, if he put the car in the wall, but he wants to get something out of the car. And on this, he got something beautiful on his first run, and on his second run, beating that time by 1/10 of it, with Lando Norris coming second and Lewis Hamilton coming third. Both the 3 drivers could have taken pole position, but from what I was seeing, Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton were very careful. Even Charles Leclerc himself, they were very careful, tiptoeing at some point to make sure they don't exceed the track limit. But they pushed themselves. Any of them could get it. They made some little mistakes that cost them some tenths away from each other, but that was a sweet one. Carlos Sainz 4th, George Russell 5th, Max Verstappen starting 6th on Sunday. Let me say it again. Max Verstappen starting on the 3rd row on Sunday. Oh, it's going to be tasty. I've said it in my ahead video, and I said undercut on that track in Austin, the circuit of the Americas, is massive. If you know how to use the undercut, it's massive. Can Max Verstappen on the first 3 laps move closer to the top spot? If he can do that, then that will change the dynamics of the race. But if he can be frustrated in the first 3 laps of the race, I tell you, to be a very difficult race for Red Bull on Sunday. Now, to know if it's going to be a difficult race, tomorrow we would know how tasty and how fragile their race on Sunday will be. How will they perform in the sprint qualifying, and how will they perform in the sprint race? Certainly, this is looking like a race that we might remember a long time. Lewis Hamilton will be starting third like he started in Qatar. Will he be having another accident? I pray not. I pray the top 4 drivers are able to scale it through the first turning and get their race ahead. But there is always chaos in circuit of the Americas. On the first turning, there's always chaos. I hope they are able to escape through the chaos and let's see how the race pans out. But like I said, the Red Bull are in for a race. Alpine of Pierre Gasly 7th. Pierre Gasly has always out-qualified his teammate in America. When he was racing for Alpha Tauri, he has always out-qualified his teammate. Esteban Ocon doing a good job, 8th. And I tell you, the Alpine, with the new investment, they are looking like that is what they need, and they are really working hard. The drivers are working hard, and here they are 7th and 8th, chasing for 5th or 6th in the championship. Sergio Perez 9th and Oscar Piastri 10th. These guys are just 7 tenths away from each other. That's from 1 to 10, 7 tenths from each other. From 4th position, Charles Leclerc, to 9th position, they were just 4.5 tenths. That shows you how close, and you are just having 6 more races to the end of the season. Now they are this close, 4.5 tenths in qualifying. The race is going to be tasty. Get your long spoon to taste the soup on Sunday. I tell you, it's going to be tasty. But tomorrow, the sprint qualifying, the sprint race is going to be lit, because the energy the Mercedes, the McLaren, and the Ferrari are carrying through today, if they are bringing the same energy tomorrow, Red Bull are in for it. Now here it is. I am having a challenge here. Max Verstappen is complaining, as in during his Q3 first lap, he complained that Sergio Perez impeded him. I don't see Sergio Perez impeding him. Maybe the dirty air from the back of Sergio Perez could have impeded him or affected, but I don't see it affected. He was under pressure. He put himself under pressure, and the Mercedes and Ferrari and the McLaren put him under pressure. If that was the case, was it the same Sergio Perez that put him under pressure to go out on track limit on his second stint? No. If he's angry, he should look at himself. These mistakes are his, not his teammate. And I think he needs to look at that and own not to his mistake. It's not his teammate's mistake, and it's not his team's mistake. They have a certain speed they can do on each track. The FIA F1 stewards will give them a certain speed that they cannot do more than that. And if that had been the mistake of Sergio Perez, then he could have been called to see the steward after the qualifying, which was not done. So I don't think that was his team's mistake. If he's venting it on his teammate, I think he needs to look at himself, because he was under pressure today. Max Verstappen was under pressure. You might need to bring your spoons tomorrow, and your fork, and also your knife, to get this dinner served. Yeah, because if that energy is same, but up until sprint tomorrow. Always love you guys. You guys have always been there for me. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching my videos. I love you. Bye. Chee.
Gibor gives you power. Gibor gives you control. Gibor gives you benefits. Are you an individual or business that uses fuel or gas? Use Gibor to find the best prices across all retail outlets in your city. For users and businesses that buy volumes, Gibor gives you access to credit. Gibor also gives you the ability to track your costs and monitor expenses per car or fleet. Need to improve your costs, enjoy incentives, or track expense? Gibor is the answer. Enjoy 5% discount on your first 5 purchases when you get your next fuel voucher from Gibor. Log on to www.gibor.co to enjoy this. Retail outlets wanted nationwide.
I have a new friend in the house. We are in Nigeria here, West Africa. He provides internet for us. They provide the best internet around the mainland, and I know they are still moving to the highland, and they are moving all around Nigeria. But for you to get internet on the mainland, contact Fibrad Telecom Limited. They get you sorted out ASAP. The best cable internet on the mainland, fiber, I think they get sorted out. We talk much about them in the course of some of our videos, but contact them, they get sorted out. Teams Gadget is for those of you that cannot easily go to the market to get your phones, your laptops, your accessories. Just place a call through. His phone number is there. It gets you the best. It's your shop plug to get you the best phones, accessories, laptops, games, and other accessories for your computer gaming experience. Contact Teams Gadget and you get them for you.